Tales of Veldrith, written and produced by Matty Taylor. Book 2, The Lens of Power, Episode 20, The Burning Plateau. The cultists scattered across the plateau were thrown into chaos as Vestinus, Eira and Leona charged into their midst. The golden sigils etched into the ground pulsed brighter with every passing moment, feeding energy into the glowing staff held aloft by Solaris. The leader's voice boomed across the battlefield, his words laced with power.
"Hold the lines! The lens will rise!"
Solaris commanded, his staff casting waves of golden light that shielded the cultists and reinforced their morale. Vestinus moved like a whirlwind, his crimson form darting between attackers. His blade crackled with arcane energy, each strike carving through the protective ward Solaris had cast.
"Eira, we need to break the circle,"
he shouted, deflecting a cultist strike with a quick parry. Eira was already moving, her sword slicing through a pair of cultists guarding one of the glowing sigils. She drove her blade into the ground, disrupting the intricate runes and causing the light to flicker. The ground beneath her trembled, a low rumble signalling the ley line's instability.
"I've got one,"
she yelled, spinning to block another cultist's attack, and Leona, nimble as ever, darted into the fray. She avoided direct confrontation, opting instead to disable the cultists' weapons and shatter their lanterns, casting the battlefield into deeper shadows.
"You know, I didn't sign up for a full-on war,"
she quipped, kicking a robed figure into the dirt.
"but it's growing on me."
Solaris stood at the centre of the plateau, his staff blazing like a miniature sun. With a flick of his wrist, he sent a wave of searing heat across the battlefield. The air shimmered, and several guards who had joined the fight fell back, their armour glowing red-hot. Vestinus charged toward him, his blade raised.
"Your power is borrowed, Solaris. It's not yours to wield."
Solaris turned, his face calm but his eyes blazing with amber light.
"And yet, it is in my grasp, Fallen One. You will never understand the glory of the sun's true purpose."
He swung the staff in a wide arc, a pulse of golden light slamming into Vestinus and sending him skidding across the rocky ground. Vestinus groaned, his body aching as he pushed himself upright. Eira broke another sigil, the light dimming further.
"That's two,"
she shouted.
"Just one more."
Leona, spotting the final sigil, sprinted toward it. Cultists swarmed her, their daggers glinting in the faint light, but she dodged and weaved, using her speed and agility to stay one step ahead. Sliding beneath one attacker's swing, she slammed a small explosive vial onto the ground near the sigil.
"Time to go boom,"
she muttered, rolling clear just as the vial detonated. The explosion shattered the final sigil, and the golden light around the plateau flickered violently. The tremors grew stronger, cracks forming in the earth as the ley lines destabilized. Solaris roared, his staff flaring with desperate energy.
"No, the lens is eternal. You cannot stop its light."
Vestinus regained his footing and advanced on Solaris, his blade glowing with crimson fire.
"Your light is nothing but destruction,"
he growled,
"and I will extinguish it."
The two clashed, their weapons colliding with a sound like a thunderclap. Solaris fought with the fury of a cornered beast, each strike of his staff sending waves of heat rippling through the air. But Vestinus was relentless, his centuries of experience guiding his every move. Eira joined the fight, flanking Solaris and forcing him to defend on two fronts.
"You're finished, Solaris,"
she snarled, driving her sword toward his side. Solaris deflected the blow but stumbled, the cracks in the plateau throwing him off balance. Leona, perched on a nearby rock, watched the battle with sharp eyes. She spotted the glowing staff, the source of Solaris's power, and an idea sparked.
"Keep him busy,"
she called, sprinting toward the fight. As Solaris swung his staff in a desperate arc, Leona darted in low, her movements swift and precise. She grabbed the staff, her fingers wrapping around its hot surface, and yanked it free from his grasp. Solaris screamed, his connection to the ley line severed. The staff's light dimmed as Leona hurled it into the cracks of the plateau. The ground beneath them trembled violently, the ley line surging out of control. Vestinus didn't hesitate. With a final powerful strike, he drove his blade into Solaris's chest. The cult leader gasped, his amber eyes dimming as he fell to his knees.
"The light will never die."
Solaris whispered, his voice fading as he collapsed lifeless to the ground. The trembling plateau began to crumble, the ley line's energy spiralling out of control. Vestinus turned to Eira and Leona, his voice urgent.
"We need to move, now!"
The three of them sprinted toward the edge of the plateau as the ground split open behind them. They leapt to safety just as the plateau collapsed in a cascade of rubble, the energy within dissipating into the air. In the quiet that followed, the group stood on the edge of the ruins, catching their breath. The cultists had fled, their leader defeated, and their ritual shattered. Eira sheathed her sword, her gaze on the smouldering remains of the plateau.
Is it over?
She asked, her voice weary. Vestinus shook his head.
For now. But the cult isn't finished. As long as the other fragments remain, they'll keep trying.
Leona crossed her arms, a wry smile tugging at her lips.
Then I guess we've got more work to do.
Vestinus nodded, his gaze fixed on the horizon.
The Sunforge is still our best chance. If we can reach it before the cult does, we may be able to end this for good.
Together, they turned and began the long journey north, the weight of their mission heavier than ever. But with Solaris defeated and the fragment secured, they carried with them the faintest glimmer of hope.